Crazy Stupid Podcast.
It feels like Marvel is setting the stage for mutants.
Yes, because it's giving Professor X and Magneto.
Exactly. It is setting not just the stage for the viewers, for the fans, but it's setting the social political stage of the people in their universe, in their society. Once it becomes revealed of, oh, you have these Skrulls and you have these super Skrulls and they can change to whoever person that they want. That's something that we can't really control. Even Talos was like, you're about to give them a unified foe, a unified threat. When the X-Men are finally more prevalent in the universe, you're going to see people say, look how things went with the Skrulls. We can't go through that again. And now we need to be more proactive in the way that we control these beings that might be a threat to our existence. Mm-hmm. Which makes me think that the ending for this one is going to have some tragedy, which will make humanity in the MCU react out of fear when it comes to things with the mutants.
There's virtually no way for this to go well.
Yeah.
There's virtually there's no out. That's what makes it such a good concept is that there's no good solution here, which is why when Talos was talking and he was like, they'll see the difference between you and us. Sir?
I don't think so, Bucko.
Pick up history, but
I don't think so. Like
you
could say that Gravik is radicalized, but like they literally he's spot on with how humans are. It's very spot on.
And I mean, Talos was right when what he said. He was like, humans are at their most formidable when they have a common enemy. That's true. Like you can look at various points in history when that was true, right? Like when people of varying nations were the world wars, essentially, right?
Hitler.
Like they were like, we got to take this situation out. We got to handle this. Mm-hmm. That's true. But they're not going to differentiate. Immediately after that conversation, his vibe with Fury is very different.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if eventually we will see Talos switch sides. I'm wondering if he's eventually going to see what I thought they were going to do is not true. They're not going to see the difference between Gravik's people and my people. Yeah. They're going to think all of us are a threat. And then I wonder if he will be like, maybe I was wrong about this. What he said to Fury at the end was like, I'm not with Gravik because I'm with you, right? Yeah. Like his loyalty to Fury is what's tying him to him. But they're also showing how that is very fragile too. Because he's calling him out on how he's been used by him over and over and over and over again. And he's the one who is always having to put himself or his daughter or his people are the ones who are having to put themselves in danger every single time.
And it really shows, like, there have been a number of instances in the last 2 episodes where Fury hasn't really shown a lot of restraint or grace when it comes to the people that are working with Gravik in the way that Talos has. When they're in Russia and he's trying to, intimidate him to get information out, Fury gets violent very quickly. And Talos kept trying to tell him, let me handle it. Like, this is one of my people, like, let me be the one to do it. And Fury kind of ignores him and does it his way. And then it happened again in this episode with Bob, essentially. Talos kept saying, like, he's like snatching the gun away from Fury, like, put it down, like, give it to me. Cause he's like, dude, I know in the end, like, he kind of loses his cool, but you're seeing the tension of, I feel like Fury's bias is kind of kicking in a little bit.
Yes, I think he views them as more expendable.
Yes.
I definitely think so. I don't think he views Skrulls as equal to humans in any capacity.
I don't think so at all. Because you could
Which is also going to get very awkward with his wife.
You could see it in the way that he made up history in his head that he was cleaning up the mess from Skrulls. And Talos was like, are you kidding me?
I was genuinely confused because I was like, what mess have the Skrulls caused in the past decade?
Yeah.
Up until now that you were aware of. They've done nothing. You were not aware of what they were doing until now.
And like you mentioned, it will get interesting with his wife because I'm starting to feel like his wife is noticing that you don't see us as equal, even though that you're married to one. That kind of dispels the whole notion of like, how could I be racist? I have a black wife. If you're like, I love all Skrulls. I married one. And at the same time, you're being expendable to all of them for like 30 years.
Also, what she said to him, it was one thing when we didn't know he had a wife, but now that we know he had one, I'm like, that's wild.
And I thought it was going to be like a Hawkeye where it's implied he still sees them often when he's like off the job.
No,
Fury's
he
like,
was gone.
I've been gone.
What she said to him when she was like, well, this was a very well written monologue that they gave her. Because with the first, when he's like, what, like who you became while I was gone. And the first thing she says, I became a widow the first time that he was, blipped. But then when he was gone again, she says, I became who I was before you. And they kind of alluded to this briefly when they first introduced us, but when they first show her to us in his house, she's in her scroll form.
Yes.
And when he comes home, she changes into a human. And I'm wondering if while he was gone, when she says, I became who I was before I met you, if what happened was she was like, she became proud to be a Skrull. Like if she became like, this is who I am and these are my people. And if she was like radicalized in his absence.
Yeah.
And maybe she cannot be her true full self
when she's with
when
him.
he's around.
It's going to get messy.